Good evening, everybody. Um, Maybe the third time's the charm. I'm recording this on Monday evening. It's almost 9 o'clock here in Northeast Ohio, but this is Monday, August 7th, and I had some network problems earlier today. Tried it again at 8 o'clock and just wasn't working. So I'm going to go ahead and record this and upload it maybe tonight. We'll see how it goes. So anyway, I'll keep my eye on the blue button and make sure that it's working. So I know it at least is recording and is not necessarily going through my network. So just as a little backstory and why I'm having some issues. I can see things far away. I can't see things close. I did have some issues with a recent cataract surgery that I'm assured will be just fine in the days to come, but I did not want to put this off and cancel for the whole week. So what I've decided to do is something that is easy, simple, doesn't require a lot of extra product. And sometimes we have issues and things going on in our families, and life just takes a little twist. And I guess that's what it's done for me this week. But I can at least see well enough to stamp. I hope things are straight. I can't necessarily read very much. But anyway, thanks for hanging in with me. And I would love it if you would leave some comments. If you're new to my channel, apologies for all of the mix up today, and I would love if you would give me a like and also subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to my channel. So I decided to make a basic card, very basic, using Gorgeously Made. It's a beautiful stamp set, very simple, and sentiments from something fancy. And I'm also using all of the current in colors for 23 to 25. And that's where we have Moody Mauve, Pebbled Path, Copper Clay, Wild Wheat, and Boho Blue. All very beautiful, muted colors that I know I've talked about in the past. So I am making, as I said, simple cards. Now, you don't have to use anything with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, although I have done that using the Deckled Rectangles die, and I'm using the second largest one. That is basically a little bit less than a piece of basic white cardstock that is cut to 5 by 3 3/4. Okay? That just gives it a nice little edge that I can sponge around or use the sponge dauber. So that's that. And so I have those ready to go. If you don't want to use that deckled edge, you don't have to, but you could tear along the edge if you like. It just adds a little bit more to the project. So I'll put those away. And grab this first piece, and this is going to be just using blending brushes, an ink pad, a Memento ink pad, and images from those two stamp sets. So it's very, very simple. So here we go. First off, I'm starting with Moody Mauve. And let's flip that open. I hope you all had a great weekend. We've had a lot of rain and storms go through here, so I don't know if that was basically the issue. I'll use that as the excuse. At some point, I probably need to see about my network and get a booster or something for it. But at any rate, let's get ready to ink blend. So when you do this, just tap, tap, tap on your ink pad. You've got a lot of ink on there, so tap some of it off onto your scrap paper. And then I want to run some color from like up here down through here. But I'm going to start off of the edge of the paper. You always want to do that. Start rubbing and blending your ink as it comes on there. There's a lot of ink in that brush. So I'm just going to kind of come on up on the edge here. Leave a little bit of white space here just for some contrast. If you want to add more, you can, but the more you blend, the better it comes together. And it's okay to have some dark and light spots too. But this is the way I like to hold the brush. I get a good control with it, and this is one of the larger brushes. We also have the small little baby brushes for doing smaller areas too. So we've got the large and the small. And you can also come up more in that white area without adding any more ink, and it just gives a softer color, but it still stays basically white. All right. So that's that. And looking at the Gorgeously Made stamp set, we have these two large leafy images, some good sentiments. You're a great friend, thank you, and hello. But I wanted something a little bit bigger, so that's why I pulled in the sentiments from Something Fancy. And then there's this. It's not words, although given my vision right now, that's probably about as good as I can see words. And just adding some texture to the card. So I'm going to stamp that. And there is a top and a bottom to it. I'm using the straight edge down here at the bottom as the bottom part, and then this is the top part. So I'm going to stamp that in my Moody Mauve and stamp it off quite a bit, and then stamp it 2 times with 2 generations there. So it's lighter and then lighter still. And for this one, I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to put the sentiment in first. I didn't forget your birthday. It's just stretching out the celebration. Sorry, I'm having trouble reading that. And that's one of the sentiments in Something Fancy. And for that, I'm going to go to the Memento ink. So let's put the Moody Mauve away for a minute and start using some black. I always like to turn my stamp over and make sure that I got it. Got it all. And the reason I'm doing this one first is this is bigger, and I know that I have kind of a big image to go on there with the leafy one. Haven't decided which one I'm going to use first. Okay, so there's that. I'm not really happy with that, to tell you the truth. Okay. I should have stamped that off again. So let's do that again real quick. Now, normally I would turn this paper over and do it on the other side. But a long time ago, I printed something off. It was a Stampin' Up! Images for something. So I printed it off on some cardstock. It's a basic white. Didn't use it for that purpose. And now I'm cutting it up and using just this side. So I didn't want it to go to waste, but I can't turn it over and use this. So maybe I'll use this for something else a little bit later. Okay, let's grab another one. And come back here with some more ink. Tap that off. So you're getting kind of see double duty here. I'm so glad that they finally came out with blending brushes a couple years ago. The sponges were nice, but this just makes it so much easier to have control over where you want some color on your cardstock. Okay. All right, I like that one. Actually, I like that one a little bit better. And let's come back with this. This time, I will add the second generation here and maybe use a little, I think I know what I'll do. Maybe use a little bit different image on here. Okay, let's do this. Let's do the celebration part over here on this side. And put this over here. And I use the Memento ink. Okay, that's not too bad. Not my favorite, but let's try this then too. Now I've got a sponge dauber, and I'm going to go around the edge. And this is why the deckled part looks so nice. Go around the edge and outline that with Memento black ink. Oh my goodness, life does throw some twists and curves every once in a while. And we have to roll with the punches. Fortunately, I am able to drive with my current distance vision in the right eye, which is perfect. So that works great. So here's this one. And I'll do one more and then show you the others that I came up with. So I've got a piece of, I'm going to let that black dry on there just a little bit more. Got a piece of basic white that is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And when your paper is a top fold like this, that looks to be a little, let me make sure that that's the right. Again, I was having some issues cutting paper. Yep, it's 4 1/4. And that's just going to go on there like that. As I said, this is very basic, easy, quick, not too many supplies needed. And here again, we've got some computer printing on the back, but nobody will ever know. That's why our glue is so good. It doesn't come off, and nobody's going to take the card apart to see it. So we're good. Oops, a little crooked there. Here's where my perception is just a little bit off right now. There we go. And let's put a little bit of this leafy part on the inside of the card as well. And I love the look of doing some things with just black and another color. So there we have that. We've got our birthday sentiment on the front. And on this one, I'm going to hold off on adding some gems, and I'll show you the gems I'm going to use on the next card. So there's that one. And let me show you the envelope that I have on another card, and there, that one's ready to go. Now, I was actually going to ask people what they might like the next color to be, but since I don't have anybody watching live, I'm going to have to choose. And I'm going to go with Pebbled Path. That is such an unusual color. It's kind of a grayish brown, and it looks so nice ink blended. So let's get this one ready. I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to use this image for the next card. And it looks absolutely stunning with black. So let's grab this one, and where is my brush for that one? I thought it was my brown one. Where's the brown? I'm using the brown. There we go. Okay, so there's some other color in there. Let me rub that off. All right. So here we go again. Tap, tap, tap. Get some color off of there. It is a dark color, but it blends very, very nicely. And this color would make a nice sympathy card. There is a sympathy sentiment in the stamp set that I'm using. Those are the cards we don't like to make unless we absolutely have to. Okay, that's a little bit dark down there. So now I'm just not pressing as hard to bring some other color in on the side there. Still giving some more of an ombre look on that upper part. Okay, and then let's do this one. Let's see, let's go ahead and add this. And this time I'm going to do second generation for both of those images. So it looks a little bit better. So stamp off 2 times. Much better. And down there, that's much, much better. And then let's grab the Memento. Now this has much larger leaves, so you really want to make sure that you've got a good ink coverage on there. So it's always a good idea to turn your stamp over and add ink to it from there. And since this is a cling stamp, I don't need to put any cushion underneath that, but I do want to make sure that I hold that down and let it penetrate, let the ink penetrate the paper for a good long time so that you get a good saturation there. Ah, that's beautiful. Okay, now for that one, and that would make a good masculine card for anything or anybody. Okay, for that one, I think I'm going to use May the Good You Do Come Back to You. And also do that in Memento. And I do always like to double check and make sure I've got good ink coverage. And tap that down first and then re-ink. There, I like that. And then let's add some Memento around the edge. That really sets it off. So what else is going on? Leave comments. Let me know what you've been up to, where you're from if you are new to my channel. Summer is just flitting away. It's hard to believe. When I was still teaching, I always said once the 4th of July hit, it was all downhill. There wasn't much left until we were thinking about going back to school. And last weekend was, excuse me, tax-free days here for back to school supplies. Okay, let that dry a little bit while I fold another card base. Now I could have brought many more things in here with ribbon and cardstock colors, but again, I was trying to just make things simple, given the fact that visually it's hard right now. I'm sure by next week everything will be all fine again. And on this envelope, I'm just going to add part of this leaf image to the front. And just a little bit of the pebbled path. This is just a beautiful color. Okay, let's stamp it off. There we go. That looks good. And adhere this to the card base. And one of my goals for this year, this stamping year, is to use the embellishments that I always seem to buy because I love them, and I don't use them all. And they're left over. So occasionally I will use retired embellishments, just letting you know that. But for these cards, I'm using the In Color they have a full name, I guess. The In Color, oops, they moved away from me. The 2325 In Colors, In Color dots. And they're in all the colors: the Pebbled Path, Wild Wheat, Moody Mauve, Copper Clay, and Boho Blue. So I will be using those. So let's add some gems to this. Then I will show you the other cards that I already completed. So with these, I know that I will probably use them all and have to order more. So that's the key. So let's put a big one up here. And a medium size here. And we'll put a little one down here. And there's the envelope to go with that one. Okay, so let's take a look at the other cards that I did. Okay, this was the one that I just completed. And I didn't put any gems on that one yet because I'm not really sure about that because I had already done this one. So actually I like this one a little bit better. Let me know what you think. So there we've got Pebbled Path, Moody Mauve. Move some things out of the way here. Here is Copper Clay. Nice bright coppery color. Here's Boho Blue. And here's the Wild Wheat. Now this was my original Pebbled Path that I did as a sample. I really like that one. And that one turned out really well with those images there. And then this was the one that I did tonight. So that's it for tonight. We'll see if I get this uploaded and if everything works okay on my end. And hopefully I will be back with you next week. Maybe seeing a little bit better. So say some prayers for me on that one. And take care. Have a great rest of the week. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.